All right. I'm so sorry about that. I'm live again. Um, so, as I was saying, I am sending out a blessing to you guys, uh, and I wish you health, peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, joy, love. All these things combined. And as I was saying, I hope that you will allow your higher self to bring to you more clarity about your being and your existence, your internal purpose, and to allow that experience to come forward, and so you can discover yourself more and live in alignment with what you feel you really are. And so this is, to me, the most important thing. You don't have to you don't have to do anything. So long as you are living in accordance with your truth and you are living your own authentic life, this is the most important thing. And to know that you are continuous, to know that you are eternal, to know that you are so much more than just this earthly existence. Um, I know it's difficult to understand the magnitude of your own creation. It's hard for any of us because we cannot possibly imagine the the components and the intricacy and the meticulous attention to detail that it's taken whoever created us, um, like how trillions of fleshy cells can amalgamate and work in tandem together in order for us to breathe, to think, to move, at the same time. To me, that is it's just so miraculous. It's so incredible how whatever we are made of is so beyond a spoken word. It's so divine. And whoever created us, the Star Lords of the cosmos. I mean, it's an evolution and an intelligence that is just so beyond anything we know, and perhaps it's innate within us. And we have been a part of, obviously we have been a part of that creation, because that source energy is in us, and we are of that intelligence. So perhaps it's just a natural progression, but do you know what I mean? Like, we are just so much more than just a bag of, you know, blood and bones. And so, I hope that you keep this in the back of your mind. Whatever difficulty or challenging situations you have been a part of, to know that they are there as lessons, and people that come in and really grab at your strings and really trigger you and set you off. You know, why do they set you off? And to recognize the bigger picture and and see that it is a lesson to absolutely understand to the best of your ability, and to learn from, because this is what it's all about: learning, evolution, and I feel learning to accept and love each other so much more than what we ever have, accepting our differences, accepting different realities, just be of a more gentle and accepting way. And of course, now, because obviously without me going into detail, there there's such a push of control and fear and rules and power, all the things to me that feel opposite of what we are. We are of love, we are of light, we are of radiance, we are of eternal magnitude. We are so eternal, and what is being portrayed, not everywhere in the world, but obviously in the majority of the world, there is a fear push there's so much fear being pushed, and it's creating all sorts of emotions in people, which are making them question themselves and making them feel more separate and helpless than before. It doesn't have to be that way. If you don't want it to be that way, it doesn't have to be that way. You decide the reality in which you exist and live within. And no matter what is happening on the surface of our planet, because remember, whatever's happening on the surface, there are those that are living a completely different reality under our surface. We have our animal kingdom, our plant kingdom. They are living in their own existence. There are so many different beings and creatures living above, on, and underneath our planet that our little reality on the surface with human beings is only but one. And you can decide where you want to slot yourself into. It's that easy, because it's all subjective. Reality is so subjective, and you can decide where you want to focus your attention. And that's what I'm going to get into, is learning where to focus your attention and the accumulation of good energy. So I send you my blessings moving into this new solar cycle. So our planet is now beginning the early stages of the new cycle around our sun. So New Year's for me is an honoring of our sun and giving thanks to our sun for continued life, because without it we cannot exist. And so I honor the sun and the radiance, and I feel the honor, especially when I lie out in the sun and I feel it burn and just vibrate on my skin surface. I don't wear sunscreen. I haven't worn sunscreen since I was told to, from especially my father, when I was a kid. Other than that, I don't wear it, and I don't want anything blocking that beautiful light energy, that light information from touching my skin. And actually, it's very indicative of when I watch my animals, when I watch my chickens. On a hot day, they love nothing more than to spike up and fluff up all their feathers and lie out and stretch out all their feathers and just sit in really hot sun and allow themselves to really absorb that light energy, because light energy carries information. We get downloaded, we get healed, we get uploaded. There's so many things going on such a quantum level that we couldn't possibly understand. And I know when I lived in England, I would be dreaming of laying out in a hot sun, and any chance there was a bit of sunshine coming through the clouds in England, I would race out and just try and feel my skin burn in the sun, because it always felt very weak. And I can understand why English people love going to Spain or to Italy, down to the south, to feel that sun and that warmth, because I feel that is absolutely integral in having a healthy body, is allowing for unobtrusive sunlight to touch your skin without any creams, without anything diluting that connection. And in fact, since the introduction of sunscreen, there has been an increase in skin cancer and cancers in general. So intuitively, I feel so much better without using any creams like this, and I haven't for years and years and years, and I don't have an issue with my skin. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you've brought in the new year with good intentions, but these good intentions should always be continuous. I don't wait until New Year's to make New Year's resolutions. I feel like monitoring and checking in with yourself daily is integral. I feel like it's so essential. Hi, Lynn. My accurate psychic readings. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum to you. Hi, Joey. Hi, Freely Burning. Hi, LL. Oh, I've totally forgotten to take the music down. So you can hear the music. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll leave it. It's actually just a Creative Commons music. I don't even know the name of it, but if I find it, I'll put it in a link in the description. Hi, Margaret. Thank you so much. So, I want to get into the accumulation of good energy. In my book, Cosmocraft, if any of you have read it, I talk about the science of the accumulation of energy in general. And of course, it's so important to be accumulating the good energy because if you can imagine, energy is everywhere, as we know, but imagine if you could actually see the energy around us in the air, like we could visibly see it, you would see that there would be these tiny little globules, that are so microscopic um, to the eye, but they would be either repelled or they would come to us depending on our emotional framework that we have in place. And so, if you have a place of accumulated good energy, it's where light, it's where information, it's where beings, it's where creatures, it's where stuff is attracted to going. It is all dependable on your emotional framework. And that is your emotional framework is what attracts this energy to you. Now, it can work both ways. Of course, you can be attracting um, not good energy also, or energy that's, not to your highest vibration. And so you find that a lot of heavy things and difficult things are coming your way. Um, and look, when these things are coming your way, this is the end result. This is the end result from work that you perhaps put into motion months and months and months ago. So, this is what I mean by saying being very gentle and kind to yourself, being mindful of your thoughts every day, because once you think it, you are putting it into power and it is going out. It's being thrown out into the universe. And by universal law, it has to follow through on the initial thought. So it has to follow through on itself. It's already gone off on a tangent, on a journey on its own. And so you want to accumulate the good stuff. You want to accumulate the good stuff, and I would suggest doing this in a sacred space. A sacred space that is not diluted by other people, um, that is quiet, that is not obstructed by outside noise, cars, electronics, um, things that don't make you feel good. So at least for me, for example, at my old house up in the desert, I had a space, a room that was just cordoned off, and no one was allowed to enter it unless I wanted them in there if I felt good with it. Because that's important. It's your space that you have conditioned with good energy, and if someone enters that room by accident and they're in a bad mood, they are going to totally funk up that whole energetic framework that you have so consistently put in motion and put in place. Clairvoyantly, it's like a room of thick, beautiful, strong, powerful, radiant energy. And the last thing you need is for someone to be in your space and to mess up what you have created in there. And so and it was kind of indicative because I planted colocasia palms, which are the big elephant ears, outside the window of my sacred space. And I've spoken about this before, but some of you have seen the pictures of these colocasia palms, which I had planted on cement because I couldn't break the cement I had a garden bed that was about this high, and I had planted these tiny little colocasia palms. And by God, these leaves just were like a meter, over a meter in size. And my hand, when I put my hand on them, they were just dwarfed by this prehistoric growth. It was like the dinosaur age, these plants. And I take that as a good sign of good accumulated energy in that area, because the more you think a certain way, the more you are focusing a directed stream of energy to move into. So it's so important where you direct your energy, and where it is that you want your energy to go. So, if you want good energy around you, I've always said, abundance grows where good energy flows. And that is the absolute truth. If you have good thoughts, if you have a peace of mind, for the most part, it doesn't have to be all the time, because obviously, as humans, we experience the whole spectrum of emotion. But most of the time, if you have good thoughts and you are optimistic about life and about the world and your place in it, you're going to be filling a grid of, of great energy, of good energy, and it can only be returned. This is a fundamental universal law of cause and effect. Can you guys hear me, or is there wind coming through my computer? Because all of a sudden there's a huge windstorm that's just kind of happened outside. I may have to just shut my door a little. Hold on. Sorry about that. It's just like totally blown in. Okay, good. Thank you. So, you know, um, good energy, a framework of good emotional well being. And let me say, if you're not feeling good about something or someone or a situation, then you have to change that. And nobody can do that except for yourself. So let this be a year. And I don't want it to sound ironic, being at the new year, but, let this be a year of change in that respect. Allow yourself to do something different, and you feeling deserving of allowing yourself to feel good about yourself, feel good about, reality, feel good about life. If you find that you are not getting that from an exterior source or outside sources, then change that. For example, at Christmas time, uh, my mother has a TV, and it drives me nuts because they have it on. And of course, it's of all the things I don't want to hear. So I couldn't wait to get home to not hear that rubbish. To me, it is absolute rubbish, and it's of a reality that I don't want to be a part of, and I'm not a part of it. As soon as I come home, oh my goodness, I feel good again. I feel juicy. I feel I just feel at peace. It's almost as if I'm in my own world here, and outside is something completely different to how I live. And of course, I've noticed it more than ever this year, because I seem to think the majority of people are being subconsciously or unconsciously molded to move in a certain way. And I see it so loud and clear. It's so obvious to me, and I do not want to be a part of it. I am not a part of that, and it's a challenge, especially with people that you love and that you care for. Um, no amount of talking, you can't change somebody. You can't go into a situation or a relationship, or even if you've got one with your family, you can't go in thinking you can sway someone. They have to do it on their own. And if they cannot see it, then you've got to let them go. You've got to accept that that is the reality that they want to move in. But a lot of people are consciously lazy about where what they are allowing themselves to see and what they're allowing themselves to be a part of. Consciously lazy as in they cannot see the bigger picture of what is happening. They they are basically accepting what is being portrayed to them as truth, and that this is the current norm, and in reality it isn't. um, it's like a smoke screen. But but somebody who is not accepting of another way, you can't change them. You can't change them, and you have to let them go. And as sad as that can be, or as disappointing as that can be, you know, that's their journey. That's their journey, and as another human, you have to honor that. And what your truth is your truth, and nobody else's. But if you can understand that on a fundamental level, that the powers that be in the world, how they know this very, very intrinsically, they know that they need to get people into a certain reality. They need to sway everybody in a certain reality to, amalgamate that energy and focus that energy in a certain reality. If you can be aware of that and know that this is happening, then you can pull yourself away from that and live a different way. But um, for the majority, people are moving. I will say it's the majority, because almost, not all, but almost everybody in my immediate family circle, they're all following that same reality. And anybody else that is not following that status quo is either mad, is crazy, or they think it's unintelligent. It's unintelligent. So I guess I'm unintelligent. Um, they just think it's madness that you could not believe what was unfolding in the world. But anyway, it is what it is. So it's interesting times, and I'm not saying for you to, you can do whatever you want. I'm not saying for you you have to do this, you have to do that. But I hope that you can honor your truth. I hope that you can honor your higher self. And if you feel there is something else going on, then allow that higher self to speak to you. Don't ignore it. Allow it to come through you, and feel that emotion. I'm sorry, I have to shut my door because I think the windows are about to blow out. This is crazy. Isn't it funny how this is all just kind of picked up as I'm doing this live stream? My goodness. It's very windy here in general, but this is all kind of just picked up ever since I've started this live stream. So, hi Spooky Mink. So anyway, this is what I'm saying, is that you absolutely have the choice to do as you please on this planet. Obviously within reason. People don't realize that although we live on one of the most beautiful planets in this sector of space, people don't realize how controlled they actually are. Forget what's happened this year. The control has been in place, as far as we know, either with religion, with money, with economy. Money and power and control has always controlled the lives of human beings. And in fact, I remember Tony Rodriguez saying to me how the colony on Ceres, the offshoot of the Nazis that live on a colony on the planetoid called Ceres in the asteroid belt. They or the kids at school, at least the people know the Earth as the slave planet. It's the the slave planet, and they have an imagery of the Earth in chains. So isn't that a shame? I mean, and it honestly is like that. You can say that control has been insurmountable and unprecedented for our lifetimes, again and again and again. Like I said, either through religion, through power of money, of economy, of fossil fuels, total control, total control. So that's what it is, and even more so now, it's being gripped, it's being tightened, and the planet Earth is one of the most incredibly beautiful planets in the sector of space, because you've got to remember a lot of beings and creatures that do visit Earth, they don't have water like we do. They may not have a clear atmosphere like we do. In fact, I know the tall whites that live on Dreamland, according to Charles Hall, he says that the tall whites love being on planet Earth because they can actually see the starry night sky, because where they're from, they can't see the stars like we do. And I'll be lying in bed sometimes at night, and I'll wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get the cosmic eyes. I don't know what it is about this time frame of night, but at this time I open my eyes, and the night sky is, I mean, I can see stars out here, but when I open my eyes at this time, the sky is just, it is milky with so many stars. It's like every portion of black that you see in the sky, it is just filled with these tiny microscopic sized stars that makes the entire night sky milky white. It's so hard to explain, but it doesn't happen often, and I don't know why at this time I have these cosmic, I call them the cosmic eyes, because I don't see this phenomena when I go to sleep. Barely do I remember seeing the night sky like that as I fall asleep. It's always when I wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I get these cosmic eyes, and it's almost as if I can just have a microscopic lens on my eyes for a few seconds, and I see just the brilliance. It's unbelievable. And it only lasts for a few seconds, like 10 or 15 seconds. But those 10 or 15 seconds, it's just like, wow, it's amazing. And so the tall whites would speak about this. I know with some other creatures, they would say how although they may have a view of a nebula, like a big, beautiful, colorful nebula, they can't see the night sky. Some planets don't even have night, especially if they live near or close to a bigger sun than ours. Something like Aldebaran, which is a huge old burning orange star, which you can see, or at least I can see in my night sky, which is a little to the left of Orion, the Orion constellation. Or, Aldebaran, if you ever see the sun or star scales online, people have done a great job at doing like a slideshow of the smallest sun to the biggest that they know. There's another called Canis Major. No, is it Canis Major? There is a star that is a super giant, and it's the biggest that we know. I think it's called Canis Major, and Aldebaran is like microscopic in size to this Canis Major. I mean, this Canis Major is so big. Look, can't even imagine it. So, so in many ways, Earth is such a beautiful planet, and yet we We are such an aggressive race, and our way of of thinking and our outlook for the most part is quite primitive in the fact that we are still fighting, we have wars, we're killing each other, we hate each other, we're still using fossil fuels. Like, we have a long way to go. And for the most part, people can see that, but it's as if these powers that be are trying their best at keeping this apparent. And whether or not it's coming from off world influence that they're being told to do this, and I believe that they are. I believe there is such an off-world influence um, that I feel it has to be. It has to be. There has to be a bigger framework at play here. That is, it's so high, like high up in the echelon, that it's off-world. It's off-world, and it's always been off-world. And we know that. We only have to see history and the hieroglyphs and the carvings and the monuments in our ancient days that are scattered around the planet. So may this year be a year of you allowing yourself to have more clarity, allowing your higher self to guide your every thought, deed, action, and situation. Be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself, and learn to accumulate good energy. And it starts from setting up a good, sound, emotional framework. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy all the time, of course, but the more you are having good thoughts and good thinking and a good outlook, the more you are going to accumulate back into your life in a good way, and it's going to feel so good. So it's so important to set up that fundamental framework for yourself. A good living space, clean living space, as in mentally clean, having a clean, orderly place, because order represents so much clarity as well. Having order in your home, having good feng shui, opening the door and being like, ah, I'm so glad I'm home. I can shut the world out, and it's your space. You have basically created a space, because like me with my home, everything has a purpose and a place. And obviously I know my way of life or my way of living is not everybody's. My mother, was so disagreeing with me of painting my ceiling. That's been one big thing I've done in the past couple of weeks. Is if I lift this, look at this. You see, I have painted my entire ceiling brown. So that was a huge thing to paint the ceiling brown for me. And of course, I don't know anyone that wants a brown ceiling, but if I had my way, I would be putting wood panels on the entire surface. And right now, the ceiling is a huge project, and I have to make do with what I've got. And I've shared that in videos, is you have to make the best with what you've got. And financially, replacing all of this ceiling with wood panels, it's quite costly. And so I have to work within my means. And so a brown ceiling, emulating a natural type of feel, is the next best thing. And I've done that in my kitchen, and I'm so glad that I finally managed to do it here over the past couple of weeks. And it definitely wasn't an easy job. So this is what I'm saying, like, you have to have the passion and visualize what it is that you want to see and follow through in it. But I guarantee you, if you're passionate about what you're doing, it's not going to feel as hard. And even though it was physically labor intensive, I felt good about doing it. Oh no, I've just seen the fox outside. Just give me 1 second. I want to check to make sure all my chickens are in one piece. Hold on. All right, guys, life on the land. Ah, Mrs. Fox, she's around every single day, but usually I would have thought she would have been sleeping by now because usually they're out, well, she's out here every single night, but they're nocturnal, and but she's leaving my chickens alone, which is great. So anyway, yeah, the accumulation of good energy. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Setting up your emotional framework, and you can call it witchcraft, you can call it alchemy, you can call it cosmocraft. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. And the fundamental principle, I feel like it's a universal law, is whatever you put out is what you get back. Law of cause and effect. And so if you have that in the back of your mind, with every thought, idea, action, you know that whatever you put out, you are giving life to, and it will manifest in some form of way. So, yeah, gosh, it really it's quite staggering when you think about it. And nothing, no thing ever goes unnoticed. Even if no physical eyes on earth see it, nothing ever goes unnoticed. So, that's where we're at. Hello everybody, I'm checking in with everyone now. Thank you very much. Hi Marcellus. Oh, thank you for tuning in. Hi Claudia. Yeah. Oh, Spooky Mink is sisters with Lynn. Hey girls. Ah. Also my sister Lynn, who is in the chat, she introduced me to your channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi Scarla. Yes. Gloria, hi. Hi Nayla. Lynn says, I remember you saying that about the night sky before, and that it only lasted a few fleeting moments. Yes, we're talking about cosmic eyes here. Oh, thanks, Gloria. Escarla says, will the collective race ever shift? Well, we are constantly shifting. And this is why there is such a stress. There's such an importance. When beings of other worlds come here, they keep showing and keep telling us about the importance of regenerating and saving the planet, helping the planet, planting, cutting out fossil fuels, living in accordance with planet Earth. And I get, the most joy I get out of my life is, planting seeds, growing. I'm doing it every single day, and I find nothing more rewarding than planting and growing a garden. It's the most fulfilling relationship. And even though I only have 2 acres, when you plant 2 acres of trees, of plants, of undergrowth, there's so much oxygen being put out in the air, and it feels good. It just feels so good planting. So that's important to me, and for me, that is the most important work, is growing and helping the planet and living in accordance with planet Earth. I can hear Mrs. Crow out there, and I'm just hoping Mrs. Fox isn't out there. I saw Mrs. Fox going past before, but I think she must be going home to bed. So that is the most important thing for me. Do I think the collective race will shift? We are always shifting. However, I know what you're saying. And those that are meant to continue on will do so. Those that are not meant to continue on the planetary sphere as we know it will not carry on. There is no accident in the way that things turn out. There is no wrong place at the wrong time. Everything is based in accordance to your thinking and the energetic footprint that you are putting out. So whatever you put out is meant to happen in return. So it is entirely your choice. And you will always, always, always be in the right place at the right time, even if it's a terrible thing that happens. If it was meant to be any other way, it would be some other way. Hold on, I'm just going to open my door. Oh, come on. I'm letting some small feathered people come inside. They're obviously restless. I feel like they can smell or suspect Mrs. Fox being around. Now let's see. Hi, Angry Birds. Hey, honey. Aw. Thank you so much, Escarla. I am a... Freely Burning's asking me, are you a December or January Capricorn? I am on the cusp. I am a January Capricorn. Hi, Jessica. Spooky Mink says, how's this for a wild theory? What if the lockdown and jab is really to prepare us for a coming mass alien visitation? Could be. Could be. But I doubt, judging from the government's past actions, you know, they're never going to come out with disclosure or revelation as we know. I mean, they already have. The Navy came out with disclosing some UFO situations with some Air Force pilots. So, but they're just being very low key about it. It's like a casual release of information. They'll never come on a podium and say, unless they're forced, you know, we are being visited by aliens. We have been forever. They've been living on our planet. We have given them bases to live on our planet. They'll never come out of it like that. And so people that are continually waiting for that acknowledgement, I don't think it's ever going to come. I feel clairvoyantly it'll never come like that. Oh, Shalaha. Esmeralda says, love it. I painted mine gold and living room black. Your ceiling looks great. Thank you. Spooky. I did the foxtrot. Yeah, look, I don't know where Mrs. Fox is, but I don't harbor the same energy that I did before with the previous fox, with Mr. Fox. And again, you know, that's that attraction. The more you fear something of happening, or you have the imagery of something happening or playing out, you are bringing that to you, and I don't have that anymore. And isn't it funny, since I've thought like this, and especially with Violet, the massive big brown snake, I haven't seen Violet yet. I don't know what's going on. But I understand, in a way, why I haven't seen her, or any snake for that matter. It's because I don't fear seeing them. I don't have that fear of stepping on them or seeing them. I have not seen them. Whereas my girlfriend, she has had one big brown snake in her house, and one outside in her garden. You know, I think if you fear it, or fear and having that, it's about that good energy. If you think a certain way, things like this will come into your life. Really, they will. And that's just how it works. That's just how it works. Thank you, Gloria. Angry Bird says, I love how the outside of your house looks like an average farmhouse. And when you see the interior, it's something totally unexpected. You know what? I've actually done that on purpose, um, because I think having my farmhouse on the outside, keeping it average, it deters away from getting attention, or creating curious attention. I want people to see the outside as an average farmhouse because it's like a little secret inside. It doesn't look anything like that, and I love that. Especially it comes in handy because since I've moved here, my rates have gone up every year, and I mean, all I've done differently on the outside is make more of a garden. Could you imagine if I painted the outside and had it all looking schmick like I've got it on the inside? My rates probably would go up $1,000 a year. So yeah, it's a nice little secret. Hi Goddess TV. Hi Naomi. I am truly thankful to capture another live. So much activity has been happening as of late. Looking forward to seeing how the energy shift will affect us. Hi Laura. Oh, thank you so much. Can you guys hear the chooks? Yeah, that's Venus. Actually, obviously a lot of you know that farm life has its ups and downs. One of my chickens, my big little chook, Shalaha, she's the biggest chook, heaviest chook, but she's got the littlest personality, and she's the chook that's picked on, mainly by Erithe. Well, Shalaha was egg bound just before New Year's, and look, with an egg bound chook, um, it can be a very life-threatening situation for them. So what did I have to do? I had to get a glove on, stick my finger in her bum, and massage her ovarian duct. So, they've got this duct that, a vent they call it, that separates the poo from the egg. And with an egg-bound chook, they just can't push out the egg. The egg is stuck in there for some reason. And so I had to get in there and massage, and then I spent about 10 to 15 minutes massaging her belly and her legs and making her feel very comfortable. And I thought, oh my gosh, tonight it's going to be hit and miss. She could actually die tonight because she was in so much pain. You can tell when a chicken is in so much pain. She had all her back feathers sprayed up. She was closing her eyes. She was, real fluffed and hunched. It was awful, and I just hated knowing that she was in pain, and there was nothing else I could do for her. I gave her a massage, tried to help encourage her to push the egg out, and she was trying as well. You could tell when I was massaging her, she was trying to push the egg out. It was obviously making her very distressed. But anyway, so I went out in the garden, and I thought, oh gosh, tonight, could wake up to a dead chook. Anyway, an hour later, she comes out, and she's her perky self, eating. She's the chook that loves to eat the most, and she was drinking, and she was fine. She wanted to come out and play with the other chooks, and I went into the workshop because she was in the workshop resting, and I had seen that she had managed to pass a leathery egg, and a leathery egg is an egg without a shell, and it's all intact, but it's a very soft leathery egg is the best way I could describe it. And it would have hurt because she would have had no way to push that out. And I'm glad I didn't get in there too much and disrupt her passing the egg, because I could have pierced that skin of that egg, and had that got inside of her, it can really make them sick, really cause big infections. So this is just farm life. Farm life. You got to do what you got to do. And I've had a chicken with bumblefoot. Erithe, the bossy chook, the one that picks on Shalaha, she had a bumblefoot, and so I actually had to get my mother to help me remove it, and it worked, and she's happy as well now. So happy chooks. They're all, Freely says they're vocal today. They're all, you should have heard them yesterday. They were so vocal. And they get so vocal that it antagonizes the rooster next door and it makes him want to come over. Oh, it drives me mad. And there's nothing that can stop them from doing that. But how funny, the first time ever now, these girls stopped laying eggs altogether. All of the four of them have stopped laying eggs on New Year's Day. They have not laid an egg since. So no eggs at my house. Oh gosh, it's just hilarious how they're all so timed like that. No one has laid any eggs. And so they'll still do the mannerisms as if they want to, but no one's doing it. So I don't know what's going on. Making the Shift says, how do you deal with isolation? I've been on this journey for 9 years and I've never been alone in my life until now. My gosh, I love being, for the most part, I love being on my own. Because even though I am alone, off the bed, 1 second, off the bed. Even though I have been alone for the most part, I don't feel lonely. I don't feel lonely. I have definitely had challenging times out here. Oh no, what's happening? It's saying it's no data. I have definitely had challenging times being out here on my own, being a new place. I miss the desert. I miss my old life in the desert. But it's manageable, and I love being on my own. Like I said, over Christmas, I couldn't wait to get back here, back to my own space with peace and quiet. And I mean, it's so amusing to me that people could just live with so much noise around them. You know, at nighttime, I mean, I even switch off my fridge. So, I mean, I don't eat meat, so I'm not worried about things going bad. So I turn my fridge off. I switch everything off. Every electrical outlet is switched off. Everything. Phone's turned off. Everything's turned off. So out here at nighttime, my place is pitch black, especially now because I don't have that damn outside street light that I fought to get taken down. It's pitch black and very alone feeling, but I don't feel alone. Yeah, I love my own company because I don't feel like I'm alone. I've got my plants, I've got my chickens. Like I'm fulfilled. I am fulfilled. And if you feel alone, perhaps this is the time to get to know yourself. Get to know yourself more. Hi, Chanel. Aliens, Chanel says aliens could be closer than we think. Are you kidding? Aliens are right here, right now. They always have been. They are right here. They're living on this planet. They are... Oh my God! She just frightened the shit out of me. Oh, Shalaha, you're too dramatic. Frightened mummy. This is ridiculous. But anyway, as I was saying, aliens are here. Call them aliens because some are aliens, some are humanoids, some are closely related to us. They are here. They live among us. They live on planet Earth. They're right here. But I feel for the most part, they're probably very disinterested in us because they do see us as aggressive and they know us probably better than we know ourselves. But they're here. Oh my God. Shalaha. Did you do a full tour of your place? So beautiful from what I see. You are such a hard worker. Thank you so much. I have done a couple of tours. I have shown people around. I do have some videos where I've gone around and show things. Yeah, I'm not sure where they are on my channel, but I have definitely done them, especially the gardening type stuff. Yes, hunter's dream, rooting some rosemary. Yes, I am, girl. I certainly am. And it's definitely rooting. Thank you, Arthur. Happy New Year's to you. Oh, goodness me. Tell us more about your New Year's resolutions. Well, honey, I don't really have New Year's resolutions. Like I said earlier, that I monitor myself every day. But you know me. I live intuitively. I'm guided to what I'm doing intuitively. I'm trying to be intuitive now, but Shalaha is totally distracting me. She's got her platform. She hasn't even laid an egg, and she's doing this. Because this is what they usually do after they've laid an egg. Shalaha? Phantom egg laying, that's right. Phantom egg laying. Oh gosh. That's right. Sitting Duck says never alone with the universe inside. Yeah, I feel like I'm stardust, full of stardust. That's what we are, stardust. Oh, I know. What is going on there with the chooks? It's crazy. God. My heart jumped with the chooks as well. Gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah, Chanel says, yes, for sure they're here. As in we're talking about the aliens. I mean the invasion or exposure. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Are you okay? You finished? You done? She's just standing on the step, on her stage. An invasion. Anything coming out of mainstream media, don't be surprised if an invasion is staged. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I wouldn't believe anything that comes out of mainstream media. I would say have your wits about you, and this is what I mean, talking about finding your place in the world, setting up home, growing your own food, sourcing your own water. This is so important. I cannot stress that enough. To try and be as off-grid and disconnected from energy than ever before. So, having solar panels, learning how to get energy from the sun. In fact, this year, if that's one of my goals, is I would like to buy a couple of solar panels to run my fridge and computer and things from. Like, I really want to separate myself from the grid. I don't want to depend on the grid for energy at all. So I'm looking to perhaps invest in a couple of solar panels this year and setting up a system, a bit like I did up in the Daintree. So I've been looking into that because what I feel clairvoyantly, I cannot shake it. I feel more than anything before a fake invasion or an alien invasion, I feel there is going to be some kind of crunch, technological crunch, a global like a global hacking, a computer cyber attack, a cyber attack. I feel like feel like something's coming, and I felt like this, and this whole event, I'm not even going to acknowledge it, this whole situation of this last year of 2020, it's just the cusp, the precipice of what is to come. These chooks, good gosh. What is chook? Sorry, Hunter. I guess it's an Australian slang for chicken. A chook. Oh my gosh. What is going on here? Get off of that. Oh, Shalaha. Come on, pick up. Outside. Please, you're just being very disruptive now. She's just knocked over my paints and paintbrushes. Gosh, they're going to get kicked outside very shortly. Do you have any stories to tell about the aliens in human form? I love experiencing them. They are helpful most times. Well, actually, if you go to my website, I've just done a small documentary. I mean, obviously, I have my own experiences, and I was looking at doing a small little film about those experiences. But for any of you that have made a film, that past one that I've done now, if you go and you have to pay for the film. It's Stardust and Aliens, and I've put a price on it because, to me, like I worked for months and months on that film. I think it's $2.99 right now, but on that I have shared some local experiences up at Wilpena Pound, specifically a place called Martin's Well. So if you watch that, I go into big detail about that. So that's 3 experiences, if that's what you mean. But then, look, it's such a big subject. It's a big subject for me because it's been a big part of my life. So, I mean, there's so much. There's so many accumulative stories of alien encounters, and not just with me, but so many people. So many people. Hi, Brat. Yeah, okay. Shalaha, yes, she must know that I'm doing a live stream. Oh, look, the chickens can absolutely sense when the fox is around. And yesterday, I love my birds around here because, I provide water and seed for many other wild birds that come in and out of the garden. But yesterday morning, I know when the fox is around because the birds do a different squawking sound. Not the chickens. Chickens didn't squawk yesterday, but usually the chickens would, but it was the wild birds. I know the sound, and it's almost as if telepathically I know immediately it's a danger. It's danger, 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 danger. And I got up straight away, and sure enough, there's Mrs. Fox in the daytime standing outside of the gate, just looking. As soon as she saw me, she took off. So I love the wild birds because when you listen to bird sounds and understand there is a language there, like they help me. They help me with my life. They really do. And I know a danger call. I know a danger call from listening and observing bird language. Ah. The chicken is talking about the alien she's seen. Yeah, 2 acres is a huge amount. It doesn't seem like much, but when you are planting, mass planting, in small areas, that is a lot of trees. I've actually got a lot of new date palm seedlings in containers right now that are germinating. So they have germinated and they are now in their little containers until they get their first shoots. So I'm projecting that perhaps by April they will be ready to be planted out. I am trying my hand at propagating almonds. almond from almond seeds and pine trees. So I've actually got some pine seeds. I sell them on my website. They're called the golden pencil pine, and I love them. I think they're such a beautiful plant, beautiful tree, great screening hedge. I'm stratifying them right now in the fridge. So I'm keeping them cold in the fridge for about a month, and then I will put them out in pots and things. But I want my entire 2 acres just covered with plants and trees. Thank you. I have your book. I love supporting you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, I feel like, yeah, Chanel, we're talking about a cyber attack coming. I really feel like there's something brewing. Yeah. So, anyway, I want to go and do a walk around my garden, check things out. Chooks are a little dramatic today. Not as dramatic as yesterday, but they are a little bit dramatic, and the wind is picking up, and the weather has been so good. And so I really feel the pull to go out and get into some gardening right now and check on all my seedlings. So I'm going to close the live stream here. And again, I send you my blessings. And may this new solar cycle be a time of clarity and prosperity and abundance and love, and be gentle with your existence. Be gentle with yourself. Um, be kind to yourself. You don't have to slog your guts out working or be in a job that you don't want to be in. You don't have to do anything unless you decide. It's your choice. You're not going to fall off the planet. You know, you decide. You decide. You decide what system you want to be a part of. And just because you're being taught to be a certain way, and just because you've been taught to act in a certain way, does not necessarily mean you have to follow that way any longer. You know, you don't have to. It's so much brainwashing and conditioning on such a basic level. We're taught that you are a success if you have a high paying job, but if you don't have a high paying job, well, you're not a success, kind of thing. We've been taught that, and yet we don't honor, or at least the majority world, the mainstream world, doesn't really honor so much, about the environmental factor, planting trees. You don't get um, praise as much for, being a gardener. Or I think people appreciate it, absolutely, but it's not one of those things. You don't get um, um, career praise. I wish we were taught more about gardening and planting and growing seeds and trees at school, learning how to fend for ourselves, learning how to harness water, learning how to filter and make pure water. Um, these are the things. Survival techniques are the most important things, and yet we're not taught them. Instead, we are being slammed with more technology, more distraction, more and more consumerism. It's worse than it ever has been. And I'm not saying tech is bad. Absolutely, tech is great in many ways, but the right tech, conscious technology, conscious technology, conscious and positive technology is a good thing. So I send you my love, send you my blessings. Walk forward with peace, with clarity, with love, happiness, abundance, and joy. And until next time, may you always be blessed by the supreme truth and love of the cosmos. Love you guys.